Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever here. Again, going to do some new stuff on my channel, stuff that I want to do, I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that is to kind of dive into other areas um, and popular culture. This is kind of a two-in-one. We're going to be looking at the rise of Christian media. That's something I'm going to start focusing on my channel, just Christianity in general. I see a lot of YouTubers out there doing this now. It's interesting because I did see an article and also watched a couple of videos on the sale of Bibles. Man, the sale of Bibles in the U.S. is on the rise. I can kind of imagine why, and I'll give my commentary on that a little bit later. But again, guys, just give me a moment. I just want to make sure all of this stuff is working. Sorry about my internet. I was re-listening to my podcast yesterday, man. The audio. Um, I know there was a little bit of problem with the audio. It wasn't coming in clear. It was in some instances, it was breaking up. Hold on. And what I've noticed, man, is that my internet lately has been kind of bad. In fact, I'm trying to look at my channel now, and I'm not seeing. Yeah, I'm not even sure if this is streaming right now or if it's able to stream. Hopefully, it will, because I can't see it. A lot of times I'll do this. I'll do these videos, and then you'll hear some audio like in the background, and that's because the channel kicks in, and I have to. Then I'll mute the volume, and then we'll continue on. We'll continue on with the video. But let me see. Live viewer comments show up StreamYard. 1 second, guys. Um, it looks like everything's fine. Sorry, I had to sneeze for a second. Ah, there we go. I see it. Yeah, we're live. We're on. I can actually see the video now. Normally, what happens, right, is they show you that you're about to go live, and then there's the video is waiting for you to get started. But I couldn't find it at all. I got a couple things open as well, so it could be me. You guys know I'm not the most tech savvy person. Um, so again, man, like I said, I'm gonna do a couple different things. This is gonna be like a two-in-one. As you can see, it's an all-in-real. I know a lot of people do reaction videos. This is kind of a reaction video, except for the simple fact that I don't show my face on the camera to do the reaction. That might change in the near future. The only problem, again, that I have is that the quality of the video. If you guys follow my channel, you know where I live, dude. I'm on a rock in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And so, I don't know, StreamYard is pretty good, but lately I've been having some issues with it. Like I was talking about earlier with the audio. Um, and of course, the time of day that I'm streaming. This is a time of day that a lot of people are utilizing their internet access. So it's all of that stuff rolled up into one. So I try and make it as high quality as possible um, within my own means, And first and foremost, hold on 1 second, guys. Let me check this. Oh, okay. No, I thought it was might be for my doctor, but it's not. But like I'm saying, so all in reels are basically my reaction to movie trailers, trailers for TV shows, anime. We're going to be doing all of that stuff, and I'll be utilizing this format for it. So again, I don't show my face, so I feel, I don't want to say it's a reaction. It is a reaction, but it's not. I know it'll probably do a lot better if I actually show my face. That's what people are tuning in for. Until you guys see my face, and then you guys will probably tune out. But it is what it is. But the focus again for my channel, man, I want to start talking about a lot of stuff in the pop culture lens, right? Like when I'm talking about Christianity and stuff, it'll be more in the pop culture lens. I know there's some people. I followed a girl, Melanie Mack. She does actual Bible readings. I don't know if I'll go that far with it. And there's nothing wrong with that, and actually I applaud her for doing that. But I don't know. But when I do Bible reading and Bible study stuff like that, it's more of a personal thing. If I go outside of that personal space, then I'm just basically witnessing, right? Which is fine. I think that's fine as well. But if I do that, I would do a different channel, right? Again, there is a format to this channel. I am going to reel it in. I know some of you guys have been commenting to me about it that I'm a little bit too all over the place. It's just the way I am. But I'll try and bring a little bit more structure to it. You'll see it over the next coming videos, especially for the podcast I start doing. All right, I'm gonna cinch it all in and then make it more digestible. But I'm not gonna take away a lot of the stuff that I do as far as like I said, my podcast run long, and one of the reasons why is because I want people to get their point of view across. I want them to have time to speak. Because when you allow people to speak and stuff, this is where you get even more good content. Right? And I gotta wade through the stuff and it's long and stuff like that. I know a lot of people can't keep up with it, but for me, that's what I like. And I have to do stuff that I like if I'm gonna keep interested in doing this channel. And that's why we're here where we are now. So again, the All in Real, the Rise of Christian Media. We're gonna watch these two trailers first, and then I'll give my commentary on it afterwards and give my opinion on what's going on in Hollywood in general, in pop culture in general, and of course with the slant of Christianity. So this is the first one we're gonna do real quick. Yeah, sorry. This is can you guys see it? Let me go a little bit more widescreen. This upcoming movie, it's from Angel Studios. It's a studio that I've been keeping my eye on over the last couple months. They've been putting out content. Um, it's my understanding from from the little I know about them is that it's supposed to be like a Christian slash evangelical slant to it. As you can see, it's going to be called Gabriel and the Guardians, and this is the official pilot episode trailer. As I know that Angel Studios has an app. It's actually on Xbox, man. I might go download it, and I'm probably gonna have to subscribe because I do want to see some of the stuff that's on there. Whether this stuff's gonna be good or not, I don't know. But let's get into this, man, because I'm excited to see. Sorry about the video quality, guys.
There is chaos in the mortal realm. A new breed of evil has emerged. Born of shadow and flesh.
Nephilim.
They are the unclean. And if
Sorry, already I don't know the animation. It looks like it's supposed to be anime, but it definitely has a Western tint to it. So
they are not stopped, they could unravel the very fabric of creation itself. Some mortals have chosen to serve the chaos.
Mighty God of Ara, I, your servant Namaya, submit to you this offering!
And yet there are those who stand against it.
I'm not of the Bakura, and I kill giants.
But they need your help.
I'm a gardener, not a warrior.
that's supposed to be Eden.
You are a celestial prince, much more than simply a gardener. If you ignore the chaos now, soon it will be crouching at your door.
That's not one of our portals.
Stop! No! I said stop!
We have to protect the seed at any cost.
Seems very
Darkness
allegorical.
is spreading. It seeks to consume you. But you are not alone. There is hope. I will stand with you. Unshaken by the shadow's grasp. I am a celestial guardian. Defender of creation. A light that pierces the darkness. I am Gabriel.
May we never be shaken.
Who Gabriel
May
is?
we never fall.
All right, that was interesting. Again, through the lens of pop culture, I'm just not a huge fan of Western anime style cartoons. It's just because I mean, I'm not saying it looks bad. It's just that there's just a style to anime now that the West just can't duplicate, and for various reasons, man. It's definitely a part of Japanese culture, the way that anime is presented. Aside from all, I mean, I'm just talking about the aesthetics. I'm not even getting into the actual cultural norms that influences anime, and that's what makes anime so good. Um, for on the Western side, man, I mean, there's very few stuff that I've watched that we've produced that has really been on that level, on that quality. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that this is bad. It actually looks good for a animated feature. Um, and I know that's what a lot of people are trying to do, man. They're trying to glam onto anime, so they'll say this is anime, and it's not. Uh, in the West, we say animated feature. Um, like the character designs, a little bit. Um, I don't know, a little bit of the story seems interesting. The premise seems interesting. It looks like they're going to do a lot of pre-Diluvian stuff. Pre-Diluvian, I mean pre-flood. If you guys read the Bible, right? It's, the Great Flood, Noah, the Ark, and all that. And what's happening now in culture is that a lot of people are studying that more closely. I know I am. You know, you can read the Bible 1,000 times, and the one thing about reading it on that 1,001 time is that you find something in there, or you see something that you might have missed, or you never knew, or you never thought about. And that's why, like I said earlier, Bible sales are going up. I think a lot of people are intrigued. One of the reasons, of course, is because what's happening in the world today. Sorry, guys. That has to do with it. A lot of stuff that's going on in the world today. People want some foundation. People want some foundational truths. So of course they're looking at that. I totally understand that. But a lot of this information that's coming out now um, lends itself to it as well. Right. So I know most of you guys probably don't know what I'm talking about. I'll just say there's a lot of stuff going on with the alien sightings, and then them changing it from UFOs to UAPs, I think it's called. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a lot of stuff becoming known about things that we took as kind of universal truths that are a little bit shaky now, man. People are questioning stuff, and when they do that, they do the research, they delve into the evidence, and they're starting to look and make sense of it. Right, a lot of it is just out of human curiosity. It's very human nature, human curiosity. So this is why you see a lot of people delving into aliens and demons and the flood. As you've seen in the trailer, they talk about the Nephilim, and the Nephilim is actually mentioned in the Bible, somewhat briefly. But then you have a lot of people that are doing deep dives on them. But be wary if you're gonna dive into this kind of stuff, man, because there's a lot of people that are just talking. And I'm not saying it's bad; they're just talking just to talk. But there's a lot of people that are doing the deep dive as far as scripture is concerned, biblically, about these kind of things. Like I said, the Nephilim is mentioned in the Bible, albeit briefly, and then you have to be careful. People are reading too much into it than it is, but there's a lot of people, man, that are doing some really good studies from a biblical perspective, from a definitely have the Holy Spirit upon them when they're talking about this kind of stuff. And again, it's a natural curiosity, knowing who you are, where you come from, who your creator is. All of that stuff rolled into one. But as far as the trailer is concerned, I mean, it looks good. I'm interested in it. I'll probably subscribe, like I said, to Angel Studios. Um, you get a kind of a premise of what it's talking about in the film, and I'm definitely interested because I'm looking at this stuff right now. And this is the reason why people are able to make this kind of content, because it is popular, dude. Like I said, we're looking through this from a pop culture lens, and so when something becomes popular, people kind of glam onto it, and then people with great intentions, people that just want to make money, it's all of that rolled into one, right? But it's offered before you, and that's why we're doing this video. I'm interested. I'm going to check it out. I'll probably do a review on it. I'm not sure if it's out yet. I should have paid more attention to that part. But yeah, so just color me interested when it comes to that. Okay, sorry, I should have caught the stuff thing. So then we'll move into the next. Just move into the next one. Which this one is a total this is from a studio that I find very. I'm fascinated with this studio, man, because they're putting out movies and content that reminds me of studios back in the day when I started first watching movies. That were putting out this type of content, this entertainment, and they were hungry. They were there. They were there for a purpose and for a reason, and they wanted to share the stories that they wanted to share, and they wanted to make the content that they wanted to make. And it's interesting because a lot of the times the bigger studios would have nothing to do with it, and this is where a lot of the indie stuff comes in. And indies, just like with video games, guys, indies serve a very valuable purpose in whatever industry that it occupies. Okay, in my opinion, it's very much needed. I'm not saying A24 is like a small indie studio. It looks like they got some money, got some clout, but the productions they put up there, but they're definitely not any of the bigger ones. And with everything that's going on with Hollywood right now, it makes a lot of sense too, because money is an issue. Again, we talk about the economy on this channel. I'm not going to rehash that verbatim, but people are having to find a way, man. You want to produce stuff, you have to find a way to put your stuff out there. In fact, I'm going to do a reaction to one of the developers at the Game Awards. Somebody shared a clip, and I found the clip very interesting that I want to have a conversation about. In fact, but you know what? I might do it on the Rick and Crew podcast to get everybody else's opinion since it's gaming centric. But let's move on to the next one because I think this is a pretty good change of pace to kind of gauge where everything's going with this Christian media that's starting to pick up steam. So this is a little bit of a change of pace, guys. Okay, just to let you know.
Hi, good afternoon, ma'am. Are you interested in learning about our Savior, Jesus Christ? Hi.
Love the song, by the way.
Hi, are you? My name is Sister Barnes, and oh my gosh. Are you interested in learning more about the Church of Jesus Christ?
Come on in.
We can't come inside unless another woman is present.
My wife is home. Does that count?
Great.
You like pie?
Yeah.
My wife has pie in the oven.
I could tell
I love
that
you,
you
Grandpa.
are a very
He's a great actor.
spiritually curious person.
I think it is good to be religious, to find your faith in a doctrine you actually believe.
Well, our work here is done.
And I will go and check on the pie.
So sleep, silent angel.
Love the cinematography, by the way. Pretty well done. This is a great trailer. So now we see the story turning.
You've been through this. You're crazy.
And I know they're in trouble.
We just need to go home.
I won't keep you if you wish to leave. But I want you to choose which door to go through based on your faith.
What does this have to do with us leaving?
Everything.
I think that we're being studied.
It will make your hearts beat faster. It may even make you want to die.
His expression.
Do not be afraid. You will witness a miracle.
Pretty intense. Oh, that's cool. A thing's available on demand. There's a note that popped up. If you guys didn't see it, it says available on demand. So let's stop sharing for now. Yeah, so a little bit of a change of pace with that one. I mean, it kind of, you guys know I talk about this all the time. I'm not a big fan of horror films. But if it's more on the suspense side, if it's a horror more on the fantasy side, more on the action side, right? As long as it's not gory, right? Or demonic, right? I don't like any of that type of film and stuff like that, dude. And that's the problem I have with a lot of horror, dude. When I watch or used to watch horror, I wouldn't watch movies for long, dude, because you can kind of see the influence of the person that's actually doing it. And a lot of times, I think those people need help. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. I know horror fans will not like that I say that. But this one struck a different chord with me, and it's called Heretic. Hugh Grant is, of course, the most notable star. I know one of the girls is kind of popular. I don't keep up with Hollywood on that level like I used to. But this movie definitely, when I first watched this trailer, and the reason I watched this is because I've been keeping up with A24. In fact, there's this other trailer I should have brought up that kind of has a tinge of faith to it. But one of the problems that, especially with Christians, right, that they have with a lot of movies that are that are supposed to portray faith, right? It's usually a caricature of the faith, or it's made to denigrate the faith of people of faith, right? And you can tell by the people again. You know, you when you're consuming media, you're consuming a lot of this stuff is on the entertainment level. It's on the personal level. There's a lot of artists that make this, and you're buying into the artists themselves. This is why people can tell the difference, right, between something that's studio produced, or at least people that are into this kind of stuff. Like I used to be. I used to be hardcore into media like this for the longest time. I kind of pulled back from that as I've gotten older because I've just realized how horrible Hollywood is. But you see them kind of outreach and reaching out, trying to capture different audiences, trying to tell different stories. And I'm okay with that. One of the problems, though, when you have a lot of Christian media, one thing that everybody goes to is that the stories aren't good or they're too preachy or whatever. You know, for some look, dude, God's Not Dead movies, absolutely love those. Is it the best writing? No, but it's way better than a lot of people give it credit for. Is there a message? Yes, it's definitely a message. So if you don't like the message of the movie, then I definitely don't think you'll like those movies. I personally like the message of the movies. I think it speaks. It's not just something that they just pull out a verse and they preach to you, man. There's this the thing that makes those God's Not Dead movies very relevant is because it's speaking to what's going on and especially in our country at this point in time, especially when it comes to people of faith and faith movements and spirituality, and more importantly, God, right, at the forefront. And so that's why I love those movies. Some people will like it, some people won't. The flip side of that is that people will do these movies, but it's made to denigrate God, the faith, religious people. I don't really care. Like people can denigrate me all I want, dude. But for full intent and purposes, I'm a Baptist, right? That is my faith, and so practicing Baptist. And so, you know, when people come at me, I'm fine and stuff like that. But you know, when you're trying to denigrate the faith, and more importantly, when you try and denigrate God, that's when a lot of people of faith have problems, right? Especially when it comes from a viewpoint of you can tell that the person just either hates God or hates faith in general, and is just a hateful person. So, but I think I've not watched this movie. I'm definitely gonna go check it out. I'll let you guys know what I think about it because it just piques my interest, dude. It looks like something. There's just things in that trailer that I absolutely love. Basically, these girls who are going out, they're basically witnessing, right? They come across a person, and it looks like this person is actually a person of faith, right? And it could be what I'm showing from the trailer is he could be a person that's of faith, but he could be jaded, right? Because one of the things about Christianity, especially in this day and age, or at least for the last, I won't say so much now, like it's beginning to shift a little bit. That's why I'm going to start doing these series on my channel. But for like the last 10, 15 years, right, with the mega churches and with all this stuff that's going on, it's kind of, the faith itself has kind of become commercialized. I hate to say it, but that's just the way it is. You know what I mean? And it takes stuff like what's going on in the world, possible World War III, nuclear bomb, the pandemic, right? Cost of living, all of this kind of stuff that's kind of shocked a lot of people into looking at things more seriously. It's always when things are good, man. It's easy to be enjoying, to celebrate, man. But when things start getting bad and things matter, that's when people start looking at the real nitty gritty of what it means to be a person of faith and the actual scriptures and what is God's trying to show us, man. The signs of the times and all that kind of stuff. So to me, Hugh Grant looks like a character that he could be a person of faith. He could be a strong person of faith, but he definitely seems jaded. So I'm interested in his story. More so than the girls. The girls, they're gonna provide the antagonist part of the movie. It looks like to me. I could be wrong, but I'm glad. I didn't notice that it was out on video already, so I'll definitely go check it out. And then I'll let you guys know, man. I'll give you guys my thoughts. Again, I don't do reviews. I give my thoughts because everything is so subjective nowadays. The stuff that we participate in, whether it's movies, games, all of this stuff, it's across the board, and everybody has their own opinions on things. What you might like, I might not like it. I might not like. Sorry, guys. But I'm willing to give it a chance, man. If it's something that's kind of in my wheelhouse. So let me try and clear this real quick, guys. Sorry. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, so I definitely would recommend A24. Kind of like on my channel, how I recommend a lot of indie games. And social media as well. There's a lot of great content out there. Again, this is why as an Xbox guy, I'm not worried about Xbox and games and stuff like that. They have a ton of content, dude, and they give you the most important thing that Xbox and Microsoft does when it comes to video games is they're giving you options. And I see that this is bleeding over into the movies. Again, Hollywood, man, for these last couple of years, they've been absolutely decimated. And their destructions come at their own hands. For years, Hollywood has been basically Sodom and Gomorrah. They've been Babylon, whatever reference you want to use. They've lived in that lifestyle. Now all of this stuff is coming out. All this stuff is starting to blow back on it. Not judging them, dude. I'm just telling you how it is, dude. You know, what you reap is what you sow. It's a very biblical principle, right? And I'm not putting myself above anybody. I have my own issues, trust me. But what I will say is that, you know, a lot of this stuff's coming into light. A lot of these people are becoming exposed. A lot of people are not on board with this stuff. And then on top of that, you like the gaming industry, the entertainment industry, which gaming is a part of. So I just say it that way. But a lot of this is predicated on disposable cash, right? A lot of this stuff, if you don't watch a movie, you will not die. If you can't eat or drink water or have a roof over your head, that's a little bit more serious, right? That could have a very detrimental. It could be very bad for your health, right? It could be very bad for your life. So, in the terms of Hollywood and stuff like that, that's not the case. And a lot of people, you know, they're choosing about what they want to spend their money on, and a lot of them aren't really choices. Right? When you're faced with paying your bills or paying for food or paying for your kids, whatever they need, looking at your future, right? Because you're looking at your future and your sustainability. When possibly you might retire. Some of us that still do this stuff, we're kind of up there in age, is the kind of things that we're coming across right now. Not sure if Social Security is still going to be around, all this kind of stuff, right? That's what you're looking at. And so, you know, all these other things get put to the wayside. Again, I deal with this all the time when it comes to video games, man. I don't think video gaming, a lot of the stuff that's going on in video gaming is because I honestly believe it's the economy. Because when people start scrutinizing stuff and looking at things honestly, right, some of the stuff that people in these entertainment spaces were able to get away with, they can't anymore. I tell you guys this stuff all the time. People are just looking for reasons not to buy things, right? So it forces people that make content like this to take their craft a little bit more seriously. Or people who aren't good enough to be in this industry, they actually have to leave. And then the people that are talented or have that drive or have both, they're the ones that come in and they rebuild it from the ground up. And that's what I'm seeing in A24. And even in Angel Studios, man, they're making a product that's for a specified market. But again, when I watch the Gabriel and what is that? I forgot the name of it. Gabriel and the Guardians, right? When I look at that, dude, I mean, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all, right? They're starting off on the right foot. Whether the movie's going to be good, I don't know. Same thing with Heretic, I don't know. But I'll definitely let you guys know. But anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about, man. And then again, on this channel, we'll start talking about this stuff. As far as the flood and the pre-diluvian stuff, I'm thinking about doing videos on that. I'm not sure, dude. I got to do a lot more research. I definitely could do some reactions, though, off of content that people put out there. And I'll definitely give them a shout out because they definitely need to be acknowledged, man. These guys are doing the heavy lifting, and they've given me a perspective on things that I never would have thought about. You know, and that's how it is a lot of times, man. This is why the brotherhood, the brethren, this is why the church is so important, right? This is, you know, steel sharpens steel. This is why you need to be active in your church, spiritually as well as physically, right? Because we are the body. Right? The church is the body of Christ. And so when it's in these relationships that you develop with people, your fellow brethren, your fellow sisters in Christ, brothers in Christ, sisters in Christ, that your eyes get opened up. That's a lot of times how you get more knowledge, right? Or you get a different perspective. And as long as it's biblical, I'm totally fine with that. There's a lot of stuff about this stuff that's pushing outside of the realms. I've been a pop culture guy my whole life, dude. I've loved science fiction and fantasy. And one of the reasons why I like science fiction and fantasy and comic books and all this kind of stuff, because biblically, I find everything to be foundational. So within realms of foundational biblical Christianity, it's always been kind of hard for me to think outside the norms, right? Because I like that order and that reality in my life. That's where I get a lot of my structure from. But some of the stuff that's being shared now, man, it's absolutely crazy what's going on. It's making me rethink, not my foundational faith, but to broaden my horizons a little bit more, man. And I think this is something that is happening because it's being shown, right? And some people think it's being shown by spirits and principalities that's not in alignment with God. But it's in some instances, no, I disagree. God has a way of revealing things to people over time, right? And just by the very way our humanity is moving forward. You guys know I follow Elon Musk on X. If you guys follow me on X, and then I post a lot of his stuff on there, man, because I'm fascinated with the kind of the way he thinks and the things that he's doing. But a lot of the stuff, the progress that he's made, a lot of stuff that we've made in science and technology, is kind of throwing a light on some of the old standards, especially scientifically, with what we believe as far as the universe is concerned. What people thought were gospel is no longer foundational. And in fact, a lot of this we're in fluid, we're in flux, and people are rushing around trying to find the answers to this kind of stuff. And sometimes, man, look, dude, as a Christian, you're not gonna know, dude. For a lot of this stuff, you're not gonna know, dude. What you want to do is you want to understand, right? And a lot of times, in order to understand this stuff, dude, you need to know God. It's just you have to submit yourself, right? Honestly, you're never going to be more wise or more powerful than the Creator actually made this universe, right? And everything that every space we occupy. So, and I see that happening, man. Even in scientific realms, dude, there's people that were full-on atheists or just didn't believe in God at all, or were agnostic. And some of the stuff that they're finding, people of intelligence, probably some of the smartest people in the world, man, and they have no answers, and that answer points back to just one, there's only one answer that there's an answer, but it points back to that one true answer. And that's why a lot of these guys are converting as well to Christianity, because their eyes have been open and their minds have been open. And the great thing about that is because in their field, these people are experts, so they can explain to people who are more either on their level or more around the lines the way they think. That's always been the thing about the gospel, and this is how the gospel's always been able to reach people. Dude, I live on a rock, and my ancestors, my family has all come from this rock in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And if it weren't for missionaries coming over here, we wouldn't receive the gospel, because the gospel had a huge impact on the culture here in Hawaii. I mean, it upended everything, right? From our system of governing to our laws and rules. We used to have a kapu system here in Hawaii. That all went away because it was very brutal and barbaric. And Christianity came in and changed all that. And it has it's for me, it's as a Christian, it's always upside, dude. But like any type of clash or culture clash, dude, there's gonna be good and bad. And there was definitely bad. I'm not gonna say it's not, because I have to be honest. But for the most part, man, especially in the end, what the final achievement is, if you receive the gospel, right? That's the most important thing. And this is across. The interesting thing, man, is it's been across the entirety of human history, across this entire world. There's another video that I was thinking about doing, man. It's this animated film on Netflix that basically is about Vikings. I was interested in watching it because I like Viking culture, I like Viking lore, I like Viking mythology, and I was going to watch it, and it's just god awful. It is absolutely one of the most degenerate forms of entertainment I've ever seen. It is made by Zack Snyder. He kind of revels in this stuff. And the reason why, I tried to watch it. I just flipped through. I just had my button there. But there's some stuff it just popped out at me, and I was like, dude, this is bad. So I can't really say that I recommend people to watch it. What you can do is people who are Christians have taken this one clip of the show. This is the only reason I watched it. And it basically shows Odin. And Odin, the way that they represent the Norse gods in this animated film is not in a positive light, right? It's kind of on a negative light. But what ended up happening is that Odin wants to see the future. So he gets the oracle to show him the future. The oracle warns him not to do that. And he wants to see the future of the gods, right? And in Norse mythology, of course, it all revolves around Ragnarok. And so the oracle shows him the future, and the future that he sees is actually Jesus, which I found that kind of like, when I first saw the clip of this, I was like, this is what made me watch the show. When I first saw the clip of it, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, oh, wow, that he went in that direction. And maybe some of the god-awful content that's in the show, I think it was done on purpose, because when you have that moment in the show, it really shakes everything up. It hits you really hard. And I think that was the intent. I don't know where Zack Snyder falls on his spirituality and stuff like that, or if he's a person of faith. I don't know if he is. He needs to change some of his content. But I will say this much, that it hit a lot harder when I did watch it too, right? And because it's just bad. People are saying that it was bad because I started watching it and there was just one scene that I turned it off because I was like, yeah, I can't watch this. This stuff's evil. But when that scene hits and you watch it in its entirety, you begin to it really does show that because like I said, Odin looks into the future and it's Christ on the cross. That's what he sees. Odin's up on the tree. What is it? Yggdrasil. He's attached to the tree and he looks across the void, and in the void is Jesus on the cross. Right? And what that's indicating is because he's wondering what the future of the gods are, right? And they show Jesus on the cross. Jesus come down, and then it switches to some other scenes, but the other scenes show that the people who are Norse, they're actually throwing away all their idols, they're burning it, and that's something that's very, I'm not Norwegian, right? But somebody of my culture, Hawaiian. That's exactly what happened when the gospel was received here, dude. It was an instantaneous turning away from the false gods to Christianity, and more importantly, to the gospel of Jesus Christ. Right? That's why the gospel is so powerful and so important. The impact of it across all different cultures changed the course of history. Right? And so I know one of the stories here is the queen at the time. She converted to Christianity, and all the old ways, she took it into the volcano and threw it. She threw it into the volcano, and she shook her fist at Pele, because Pele is one of the most powerful gods in Hawaiian mythology, right? And so because she converted to Christianity, and she knew God was the true God, right? And so that's one of the things I love about this show. The rest is all trash. I mean, it's bad. And again, maybe he did that because when he had that moment, it shows how powerful the gospel is, and the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross, and of course the resurrection. But we celebrate Easter, and of course the Passover, and all the Christian holidays that we celebrate. So, I'm so as a dude, I can't recommend that you watch it, dude. Watch at your own risk if you decide to do it. It is a powerful moment. I'll give this show that. And again, this is why, people are looking for answers, man. And there's stuff that's coming out right now. Like this whole thing with aliens, and what people are talking about with aliens, dude, that they're actually demons, right? That they're actually demonic forces. And there's a big breakdown of this kind of stuff. People that have studied this stuff extensively and talk about it extensively. Man, a lot of these guys, again, dude, it's one of the reasons why the book The Case for Christ was so appealing to people, because the person who wrote that was actually anti-Jesus, anti-Christ. Not anti-Christ, anti-Christian. But he didn't believe in Christianity. And I think they did a movie on it as well. And he took it from a legal perspective, and then when he started delving into it, it actually converted him. The gospel is a powerful thing, man. And a lot of people might laugh it off, and I've been called all kind of names in my lifetime. Right? It is what it is. It comes with the territory. Imagine all the people that were martyred for their faith. That I feel more sorry for them, and not sorry as in that's a hard thing to go through. I mean, the rewards in heaven, but you know what I'm saying. So it is what it is, man. But there's a lot of stuff that people are delving into. They're looking into. It's interesting because the thought of things being parallel universe is coming to the forefront. In the Bible, it talks about we wage against spirits, principalities, of which we know not. And so, dude, let me hold on. Let me get this right, because I get mad when people do this as well. Hold on, let me get it for you guys. Oh, let me get this. But yeah, I mean, it's just, and you don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I get that, guys, but you're gonna have to do some research, right? And again, if you're a person of faith, dude, you gotta be in the spirit, dude. You gotta be aligned with God, right? If you had a bad day, maybe had some swear words, maybe you lied about something, maybe that you did something that's not godly, right? Just pray, right? Pray for forgiveness, become in spirit with God, pray for the Holy Spirit, right, to guide you. Pray for discernment so that you can wrestle through all this stuff, especially if you're being led to it, right? And in a good way by the Spirit. But Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Of course, that's from the King James Version. KJV all the way. But yeah, so what people are discovering, man, is they're thinking about this in a sense of, it says this in the Bible, but the thought process of people is like, hey, maybe it's not aliens from another planet or distant part of the universe, because what they're discovering about the universe, all of that stuff with the Big Bang Theory is getting turned on its head right now, right? But they're starting to look at it like, oh wow, maybe what if they're not from another universe but another dimension, right? And then of course, everything that's been going on with to take it back to entertainment, right? With comic book movies and how they've kind of set the stage for parallel universes where a lot of people have watched a lot of the Marvel stuff. I'm not saying they're all good. I think some of it is trash, to be quite honest with you, as far as quality. But it's like God works in mysterious ways, right? A lot of this stuff's been seeded in a lot of the pop culture, where people are kind of thinking about parallel universes, and now this stuff is happening, right? And that's what I mean. Like a lot of this stuff coming to light and stuff like that, because people are questioning, they're curious, and then a bomb like this gets dropped, right? All these people start talking about aliens. Government comes out, yeah, we had it, we all knew this. Right? We know the government is the government. They do not the best things, right? But and they couldn't keep a bottle cap on it anymore, man. I think a lot of it is because things are coming into view, into light, and so when people again has these questions, man, some of the testimonies people are giving, dude, and then that these guys aren't lying. I mean, they can't explain what it is, but they know. You can just tell by their body reactions, the way that they tell their story, all this kind of stuff. So then you have the people going in and digging up this kind of stuff, and this is how you come to Ephesians 6:12, right? Because somebody who reads the Bible will be like, oh, this is what this is Paul, right? This is what Paul was talking about, right? In Ephesians 6:12. So that's how it normally works, right? That's why I'm saying if it's biblical, if a lot of people doing a deep dive, it's biblical in that sense. Hold on, let me close some of this, guys, because I think this thing is. Yeah, again, I'm sorry if the audio is not good. I just think my internet's just not great. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm going to. I'll look at it, dude, and I'll see if I can present it. I mean, I think what I might just do is just share the links with you guys. And just follow me, man. Follow me on X, man, because I post all this stuff on X. I post a lot of stuff on X, man. I know some people, they're like, oh, dude, I don't really care for your politics and stuff like that. I understand, dude. I understand. If you can get past that seems to be the main hang up for a lot of people who want to follow me or want to participate in this stuff. Look, but honestly, guys, like I said, dude, I just got to be myself. And that's what I'm going to do on this channel. But, yeah, dude, just interesting, man. I mean, we went from aliens, now they could be demons, fallen angels, parallel universes, right? Again, I'm going to dive into Isaiah again and see more specifically about that, because a lot of stuff is referenced from Isaiah. And then of course, as you can see from the first trailer that we did, the pre-Diluvian stuff is interesting to me. I'm not all into the Atlantis stuff. I mean, I'm kind of looking at it because at some point in time, dude, you start going as far as a Christian, you start going down this rabbit hole, and then you go into the conspiracy theories and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not saying some of these dudes got some interesting theories. I can hang with that, but I'm a pop culture guy. I can hang with that. But spiritually, right? I put those two in different boxes, definitely. Right, but as far as Nephilim, which in the Bible they're the offsprings, the sons of God and the daughters of men, and the Nephilim, translated, I saw a translation of it means monsters, but these are the giants. Like if you guys you just go on YouTube, do a search of giants, man. They have giant bones all over the world, and of course, pre-Diluvian flood, man. The way the earth was back in the day, it's not surprising that you could dig up bones all over the place, right? It's an interesting prospect, but yeah, now my whole thing now is like focusing on giants and that, and of course, from a biblical perspective, dude, it's easy for me to go down this rabbit hole because when I think about the destruction of the world, especially with the flood, right? I mean, how bad would it have been for God to wipe out the entirety of the creation except for Noah and his family, right? That's amazing to me, right? I mean, I think the world we have now is bad, yet we carry on, and the Bible says why. There is going to be a judgment day. There's going to be a final judgment, right? We have the Holy Spirit, we have the gospel, right? And God keeps His promises, right? God always keeps His promises. But when I look back in hindsight, I was like, "Was even the Bible, man? God grieved God." when he looked at his creation, man, you know, it's sad to think that something he created is doing all this evilness, you know, which is an affront to him. And so he decided to just wipe everybody out. So how bad would it have to have been, right? And then when you start doing the deep dive about what was happening, of course, the war in heaven, then you have Satan, and then a lot of this stuff delves in. You know, a lot of this stuff's from the Book of Enoch. You know, it's not canonical. Again, gotta be careful when you looking at these things, right? That's why I try and find people that are looking at from a biblical perspective. But you know, he was not the only one, dude. There's other people that are coming to light, the Watchers. How these people left, how these angels left their station, came down, and basically worked against creation. And if you apply it to modern times, this is why to me the rainbow is so important. A lot of people get on me about that in my content that I share, because I share the rainbow as it is properly supposed to be remembered as and thought about. Right, that's the promise of God, never to wreak judgment upon the world like He did in the utilization of the flood. That's the whole purpose of the rainbow. That was a promise God made to Noah and to the rest of mankind. Right, and then you see in modern times what that symbol's become, right, and how they twisted it. A certain community, right, is taking the rainbow as a sense of pride, which is ironic, right? Because if you look at it from a biblical perspective, it makes sense to me that they would, because everything's perverted. What they're taking and doing with the rainbow is perverted, right? Because that rainbow is a promise of God that came after ultimate judgment, right? And then you have a community of people that are taking that, trying to twist what God intended creation to be. It's ironic that they use the term pride, being that pride was actually the first sin, the original sin, because that's what caused the devil to fall. Right? If you look at it from that perspective, this is why I'm anti all of this stuff that they're pushing. And that even goes into the DEI stuff, dude. I do not want this stuff normalized. I do not want my kids normalized into this, because there's going to be consequences for this thing, for doing this. We're seeing the consequences of it now, how our society is being shaped, how everything is out of order, right? How people are questioning their own, how they're born. Like, I don't want to go down too deep that rabbit hole. This wasn't the intent of the video, but I did want to talk about the rise of Christian media. This is why you see a lot of this stuff coming up, because people are looking for answers, and when they're looking for answers, they're gonna just start doing this deep dives, and that's where we are now. But let me know what you guys think about these about the trailers that I showed, man. It's very interesting. I'm gonna watch both of them, like I said, and I'll give you guys my thoughts. But let me wrap it up, guys. I've been way too long. I want to do half an hour. Look, I'm already at an hour. I start rambling and stuff like that. This is why my podcasts are long as well. So, anyway, Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever. We are.